Hello, everyone. Good morning and Happy New Year. Woo! Welcome back. Today I am joined by the incredible Charlotte Edwards. Hi, Charlotte.
Hi, Athena. Thank you for having me.
That's
Happy New
okay.
Year to you.
Happy New Year to you. Absolutely. How exciting. 8th of January, we are back. So we have a very busy, very busy year ahead, 2024. We said goodbye to 2023, as it were. So really exciting. So let's start off with our celebrations. Now, this one's a little bit tricky because obviously it's the beginning of January, literally. So what are you going to be celebrating for 2024?
Well, actually, Athena, I'm turning 40 in 2024. So on a
Are
personal
you
note,
actually?
I'm actually turning 40. I know it's so hard to believe.
I swear
I've got a
to you, I
heavy, I've got a heavy filter on right now.
That's amazing. I swear to you, I honestly would never have said that.
I just think 40 is the new 30, though. Like, I can't wait.
Do you know,
I feel like the 40s, I'm just going to enjoy what I've built up in my 30s. So
yeah.
I can't wait. Bring it on.
What are you doing to celebrate?
Well, I've got a party lined up in Marbella, so I'm excited about that in February. But also, I'm actually, sorry, a little plug here, but I'm launching a property development mentoring and coaching course, which I'm also launching this month. So
Woo!
yeah,
That's
but
amazing.
we can touch on that later.
Yeah, absolutely. And do you know what? What a way to celebrate it. Turn 40, launch another course. Yeah, sounds great.
Of course.
Fabulous. I love that. And what am I doing to celebrate? So we're now in January. And at the beginning of January, I always said I was doing a whole rebrand of myself. I've been over a year now in I've been over 5 years in the property game, but as a property investor, full time, leaving my full time job. A full year now. So I thought, you know what, we need a new refresh, we need a new rebrand. I love doing that. I love sort of recreating yourself because as you grow through life and you grow through the industry, you learn who you are, you learn about what you want to represent as well. And so you're constantly evolving as a person, and therefore, why not do a rebrand? So very excited about it. And beginning of January, around about this time, I've got a new logo coming out. I've got a new kind of vibe going out, and hopefully at the end, a new course as well. So it seems to be just like the course centuries of the year 2024, but why not? Like, let's go for it.
I think so. Let's share the knowledge.
Share the knowledge, absolutely, and also do it with integrity and do it well as well. So show them how it's done, and
Yes.
female empowerment all the way. Love it. So Charlotte, I know you've been on the podcast before, but you were on the podcast many, many moons ago, right at the beginning when we launched the podcast.
I think I was one of the first, actually.
I think you were one of the first.
I think I was one of the first.
I think you were. Well, Lexi was the first, but I think you were a close second. And I think
Okay.
if our listeners go back, they'll be able to find you right at the beginning. So if you want to listen to Charlotte's original episode, then feel free to. However, so much has happened to you since then, like so much. And so what I thought would be amazing was to get you back on. Obviously, Sophie was the one who interviewed you originally. So I've never interviewed you. So I'm very excited to do that and kind of hear more about what you're doing and all the journey and experiences that you can share. So for those who haven't heard your podcast before or weren't at the retreat listening to you speak, can you please reintroduce yourself, let people know who you are, what your expertise is, what you've been doing, and what you've got planned for 2024?
Okay, so for those of you who don't know me, my name is Charlotte Edwards. I am accidental female developer on Instagram, which is kind of the main place to find me. I am a active property developer, so I've got a 54 house pipeline right now with new build properties that I build to rent and sell. I have a company which also holds like a buy-to-let portfolio. So I do various strategies there, BRRR, straightforward buy-to-lets, although strictly no essays. I'm sure we'll touch on that later. And I have a property education side of the company. I think it's really important to share that knowledge, especially if you're a practicing property professional who wants to share knowledge.
Love that. What a summary. I think that's fabulous. And obviously, Pete, I've seen on your stories recently, you're currently in the process. Like you were literally on a building site, weren't you, a few days ago? So talk us through the building site and what's happening with that, with the developments.
Yeah, sure. So I am just getting ready to market a site called the Farmyard, and it was literally a farmyard. So demolished the old buildings, bought that. There's 3 building plots on it, although we are in planning to try and gain an extra 2. We're in appeal for that one because it got rejected the first time. So yeah, 3 kind of very luxury houses. Estimated GDV of that would be probably about 2 million, or if not just over. Um, yeah, so I've never built anything so high end before. So this is a new one for me. They're also 3-story, which is a new one as well. So always learning.
Yeah, but I think that's absolutely incredible. And I sometimes actually get a lot of people come to me personally and say, I'm looking to get into property. And what's fascinating is ever so often someone will say, I want to get into property, I want to start building houses. And do you know what I always say to them? I honestly say this to them, I swear to you. I say, okay, I'm not the girl for you. Go and speak to Charlotte Edwards.
Yeah.
That's honestly what
I
I
am.
say to them. I'm like, go and speak to Charlotte. But it's
I
incredible.
honestly find it easier to build a new house than do a refurb. Like, I would rather build a new house than do a refurb any
Wow,
day.
there's a statement
Yeah.
and a half. And why do you
Yeah.
think? Why would you think that is? Like, let's say that somebody was looking to start out, or not even to start out. Let's say that they've done a couple of buy to lets and now they're looking to expand and grow. Why do you think it's better to build rather than refurb?
Um, I think there's less surprises.
Mm.
Definitely less surprises. Because once you're out of the ground, everything's very straightforward and a house goes together like a jigsaw puzzle. I think when you're doing the refurb and you're pulling back the walls, like you never really know what you're going to find. And you're trying to correct something that's been built a long time ago, and is not up to modern standards and probably has damp and probably has all these issues. I just like the newness, the squareness, straight walls. And I find that I can get better trades to work for me as well with the new build. I find the trades that work with me on new build, for example, won't do refurbs. So it's just a different, yeah, just a different kind of set of people to work with, and a lot. I just think it's easier. It is more expensive, I would say, obviously, to do a new build with the new building regulations that are in, kind of insulation that you have to do, the heat pumps and all that kind of stuff. But I feel like it's a lot more satisfying as well.
Yeah, just shiny and new. I love it.
Yeah, yeah. And I think
Fabulous.
I would choose to live in a new house now as well. Having done refurbs and having done new builds, I would always choose to live in a new build. Although, actually, I live in a refurb right now. But if
Oh,
I had the choice,
I love
I
that.
would choose new
You
builds.
would choose new
New
build.
builds, of course, just like efficiency, straight walls. Yeah, definitely.
Fantastic. And let's say that for people, therefore, who want to get started and to get into new builds, with your expertise and your experience, like, let's go for 3. Like, what would be the best 3 tips you could give to a listener who wants to start developing new builds or thinking about getting into it? Do you have like a top 3?
Yeah, I would say first of all, don't start with developing new builds.
Yep.
Go like maybe get some. So you need to earn some credibility if you're gonna, especially if you're gonna be looking for funding or investors. So start. It's going to be easier for you to get funding for refurbs, even though I find them more difficult to do technically. It's going to be easier for you to get funding and easier for you to access a project to do a refurb. So get some of those under your belt. If you're not in a financial position to invest in property yourself, go work for a developer, go work for a house builder, go work for an estate agent, just get some experience, and learn as much as you can. I started doing it before I'd actually learned about it. So I now, 4 years later, can kind of look back and go, oh, okay, like these are all the things I did wrong. But had I had that chance to have that education first, then that's what I should have done.
Well, obviously, your circumstances were incredibly different and you were thrown into it out of necessity. Like you had to just do what you had to do. For
Yeah.
those who don't know the reasons, you just want to explain like how you got into it, why you got into it, just so that they kind of understand the context of, well, Charlotte did it. It's like, yeah, but Charlotte had to do it.
Yeah, sure. So I was a marketing consultant and had been for the last kind of 15 years. And then in 2019, my dad and my brother both passed away very suddenly with cancer, just totally random, both different kinds of cancer. And just passed away, and they worked together building houses. And what they'd done is taken out a 7-figure bank loan to buy and develop a field for 25 plots. Now, some of that money, or a lot of that money, had been spent on cancer treatment abroad, which obviously didn't work. And so I was left with this field and this 7-figure debt. And the choice was, I'd never even stepped foot on a construction site before. So I had nothing, like there were because my dad and my brother did everything, it was all in their head. There was no paperwork, there was no computers, there was no paper trail of anything. So I literally just had to start again, starting with a conversation with the bank manager of like, I need funding to do this. And just taught, and so self-taught. And because it was COVID as well, there was all the lockdowns, the restrictions. So I couldn't maybe like go out and educate myself or network with other people. So it was a strange time.
Yeah, really strange. And do you know what? I'm sort of staying on topic, but also a little bit off topic as well, which, by the way, I'm probably going to do this the whole way through the podcast because there's so much I want to talk to you about. But with that, you know how, so something for 2024 that I've done, and I've already done this actually, is I've written myself a letter, which I always said I was going to do. So I wrote myself a letter at the end of last 2023, just gone, for me at the end of 2024. And I'm going to open that letter to myself in a year's time. And
I've just got goosebumps.
Yeah, I've written the letter. I've written it. And if you had to like go back and like give yourself, when you first was in that position and starting out, like what would you have said to yourself? What advice would you give? Or like, knowing who you are now as a person, like what would you say to her?
Oh, that's a deep question.
I told you I was going to go off piece, but
I know.
The reason I'm asking this question is I think you are so inspirational. I think you've done such, like you've done so much, and you're so amazing in terms of like, a lot of people look up to you. And so I think what's really important is also acknowledging how far you have come, and kind of like what you would say to yourself, or what advice would you give if you don't want to go too deep? Like, what really great bit of advice would you have given yourself then?
I just think, you know what, to have faith in yourself, like to really back yourself, because I didn't like nobody else backed me. And so that meant I didn't back myself, but you really have to like block out the noise. And if you want to do something, or you're going to do something. So I think again, that echoes to like who you surround yourself with as well. So that's when I actually got on Instagram, and I was like, okay, well, let's follow some other women who are doing development and property and stuff, and let me surround myself with these people. It's COVID, I can't go and meet them, but I can connect with them online. So I think doing what you need to do for your own kind of mindset, really. And I had a year of therapy as well. And that really boosted my mindset of like, you know, what do I actually want to achieve? What are the blocks that are in my way, and how can I overcome these? And actually, like, the only block that was really in my way was my own mindset. Yeah. That was it, because I was already, you know, financially in debt. The project was in front of me, like the project was there to do. So I hadn't got to go out and find that. The only block was my own thoughts.
Yeah.
And so that was the biggest one to get over, really.
That's brilliant.
And once you're over that, my God, you can do anything.
Yeah, literally. Do you know
what shall I do next?
I know. Do you know what really makes me laugh? As I saw on your Instagram as well, and it made me chuckle the other day because it happened to me, was you put up a post that was like, what do you put your success down to? And you were like, delusion. Pure delusion. Yeah. I remember that. And so I was speaking to somebody the other day, and they kind of know what I'm doing, but you know, sometimes in your friendship circles, they know what you're doing, but they don't really understand it. And I was like, so I'm holding a retreat for 70 women, and this is happening, and I'm developing a course, and this is happening. And then like, you're like just deluded and things. And I'm like, yeah, I know. Isn't it great? Like, and the success comes from pure delusion. And it made me think of you, because I thought, you know what, if you don't back yourself, no one is going to back you. Like, you have to just believe in yourself, because that's the only person you can always count on at the end of the day. So
Exactly. I think some people are lucky they've got supportive partners and family members and things like that. But especially like if you're a, single person and you're looking to achieve something, then you are relying on you. So you really do have to back yourself.
yeah, I love it. Perfect. And then one other question that I've got for you, just because you touched on the fact of your dislike for serviced accommodation earlier. So,
Yeah.
as you know, I'm in the serviced accommodation world. So, just slightly like
You're welcome to it.
we will go back on
You can
topic
have
of
all of the
development.
serviced accommodation.
Well, my question to you is, because I enjoy serviced accommodation. Which aspect of it do you think? Oh, do you know what? I would rather just build them, rent them out or sell them, flip them. Like, what do you see as the real benefit of development over serviced accommodation or something like that?
What I hate about service accommodation is people.
Great answer.
It's guests. It's guests. Honestly, if I can, reduce my my contact with like just idiots, then that's what I'm going to do. Like to preserve my mindset.
Yep.
I don't want to be dealing with people who don't know how to turn on the central heating. I don't want to be dealing with people who can't open a lockbox.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't want to be dealing with people who've changed their mind about how many days they want to stay and they want to change things. Okay. No, I just want one monthly rental income every month, same thing, nice and steady. And I'll accept less per year for that. Like that's worth more to me to not have any hassle.
Do you know what? I do hear you. I really do, because I have to deal with, I don't know how to turn the central heating on, and I don't know how to work the lockbox, and I do have to deal with that. So I do hear you loud and clear, absolutely. And also,
so I was on holiday, Athena, last week with my friend Stephanie Baker, so Stephanie Baker Property on Instagram. And we were sat having a lovely dinner in this restaurant about 9-10 o'clock at night. And guess what? Her phone's pinging, her service accommodation guests can't open the lockbox. And so it took them an hour of her texting them to finally get to open the lockbox. Then when they get inside, they can't work out how to turn on the heating. So she spent like the 2-hour dinner on just texting her serviced accommodation guests. Meanwhile, I was sat there having a lovely dinner and enjoying my glass of wine.
But you know what?
And that is why I don't do serviced accommodation.
I hear you. I definitely hear you. And you know what? Credit to Stephanie, because somebody else might have just ignored their guest.
Really?
Or not responded. Well, I'm trying to think if they would. I'm sure there are. There are all sorts of people out there, and they just said, "Oh, I'll respond to them after this dinner." Like the fact that Stephanie took the time to actually respond to them is amazing. And to be fair, I have personally been in that position before. I was having dinner in Winchester. I actually had to leave my dinner early to go and sort an issue out at the accommodation in Bournemouth. So, yes.
I remember at the property retreat that I was with you at last year, and you were dealing with issues then.
I was.
Like, you were on your phone trying to get guests into accommodation.
Yeah, at my own retreat,
and I was enjoying a lovely glass of wine watching you. And that is why I don't do serviced accommodation.
I was having to sort out a whole retreat for over 50 women whilst dealing with the catering and everything that was going on, whilst I had a guest calling me saying, I need you to sort this. I was like, if this is not multitasking, I literally don't know what is.
I get that serviced accommodation, really, I get if you're doing rent to rent or you really need to maximize, whatever area you invest in, maybe you need to maximize to get that deal to work. I know you live down south, right? And I live in the Midlands. So our strategies are going to be slightly different, and probably I'd make more money if I was in your area doing serviced accommodation. It might be worth it. But for where I invest, which is North Wales and West Midlands, yeah, it's still not worth it for me.
That's fair enough. And you know what? You've actually just raised a really great point, which is, so a lot of people will, and I'm sure you get exactly the same, will always ask, what strategy do you think would be best to do to get into property or to develop this? And it's like, well, where are you based? Because you're right. You just said, you're in the Midlands and I'm in the South. Like the strategies are completely different. The returns are completely different. And so you have to almost think about your investment area and where you want to invest, because it will therefore determine. I had Heather Smale on 2 podcasts ago, who's incredible, Blonde Property, absolutely sensational girl. And she's also in the Midlands. She's Midlands as well. And she was saying to me that the
Okay.
way that she sees it as is that flips work really well in the south. And for example, in the Midlands, kind of everything works well. And in the north, you've got really high yields with HMOs and buy-to-lets and things. And so, that's not set in stone. It's just a structure of an idea. But it shows you the different strategies for the different areas. So always good to broaden it and to think about, the where you're based as well.
No, absolutely. And especially for me, I think, as I've mentioned, I do like an easy life. So for me, I only invest within like a half an hour radius of where I live, when I'm in the UK. So yeah, that for me, I'm going to choose the strategies that work in the area that I live in.
Absolutely. And I think you go to Spain like once a month. Is it now? Is it about once a
Yeah,
month?
I do. Yeah. So I was really fortunate to be able to refinance a few of my new build to rents and use that money to then invest in a holiday home in Marbella in Spain back in 2021, right at the end of COVID, when things were really slow in Spain as well. So I got like a really good deal. I'm so happy I did that. I accidentally made more money doing that than I've made on any property. No strategy involved whatsoever.
How many times do I literally get women and men say to me, "Oh, I accidentally made a lot of money. I accidentally did this." It's like me. I accidentally got into property by not being able to sell my house and then rented it out and suddenly realized property was for me. It's so fascinating how the world just almost just brings you what you need at certain times and works in mysterious ways. It's fascinating.
I know, but I don't think like when you're at school and university they ever teach a course on like or encourage you to be a landlord, do they? It's
No.
just not one of those.
No.
It's not one of those jobs that anyone like plans to go into.
I know. Do you know what, have you ever thought about, or do you? I don't even know, you might already do this. Have you ever thought about going and speaking in schools about sort of property development?
I do. Well, it tends to be like construction colleges and things like that. But I have been invited by a few schools actually, to go in and speak. So yeah, I do get I have done it a few times.
Yeah, I would love to do that. I might add that to my goal list for 2024, which is incredibly long, but I might just add it as number 55.
Yeah, I mean, encouraging women into kind of construction and property is something I'm really passionate about. Because there's not many of us.
No,
so I think
construction's
we've got to bring the young ones.
Yeah,
we've got to bring the young ones through.
Definitely. And you know what? I'm sure it'd be so nice. Like, let's say that they are doing a construction college or course, and there's one girl in the class. Let's just say with all those boys, it'd be amazing if a woman actually walked in to teach it as opposed to a man. I think that would just be inspirational.
The last time I went into a construction college, I think there was 2 girls in the class. So
yeah, good on those girls.
Good on those girls, but it is a tough sell to get girls to go into construction.
It is.
It's a tough sell, but it can be done, and it leads to what we do, which is property development and property investment. So I think you've got to sell it on that basis, not you're going to get your hands dirty or you're going to be on a wet, muddy building site in the winter. It's like, no, that leads to this.
Yeah.
And I think that's really important.
I love that. And you spoke about something earlier, which I must come back to as well, which is you said when people are starting out, sometimes they say that they want to get straight into to raising finance. I get that quite a lot. So a question that I would get asked, for example, somebody would just DM me saying, how do you raise finance? Tell me how you raise finance, which first of all is a very interesting and long question that's very difficult to answer in an Instagram message. But at the same time, my first question is always, well, are you actually in property? Do you have property? Can you show buy-to-let? Can you show service accommodation? Can you show experience in property? And if they can't show that experience, I always say to them, well, how are you thinking to raise finance if you can't show your expertise? It's always one of those chicken and egg questions.
There's too many property educators out there advertising the no money down methods, and I won't even take on anybody that's got no money, because in my humble opinion, you cannot invest in property with no money. Okay, somebody's got to there's got to be some money changing hands somewhere. So I just don't. Yeah, I don't think that should be advertised at all. I think it gives people the wrong idea. And so my response is always, well, I've got no money, but I want to invest in property. Okay, well, go out and find a way to make money and then get back to me.
Yeah, fair enough.
Basically,
Yeah, fair enough.
I'm not going to teach you how to invest in property with no money. That's not, in my opinion, possible.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's always one of those, isn't it? Because there are ways that that people can, of course, joint venture together. Let's say, for example, that they've gone out and got all of the knowledge and someone else has got the money but
Correct.
not got the time. You could work together to therefore go
Yeah.
and build something and do a 50-50 equity split or something like that. I talk about joint
Absolutely.
ventures.
But
Yeah.
somebody's got to put the money in.
Someone has to put the money in.
Someone's got to do the money. Yeah. Even if it's the bank, right? Even if it's the bank and you want to say, hey, bank, fund me, which is what I did, for my first developments. But again, you've got to appear credible, right? You've got to do the background. You've got to have shown that you've got experience of managing construction projects or developments or investing in property, or you're working with somebody who does have that and you're kind of the middleman or the CEO, if you like.
Yeah.
But you need to get experience and finance from somewhere to proceed.
So I suppose the advice that we would give, because I do get this question quite a lot, so I thought it would be really great just to answer it on this podcast. So the overall advice would be, are we agreeing on this? Would be type of go and get experience first of all. Go and learn a lot. Get experience through working with somebody else, and then if you can find a way of getting the money, whether it be the bank, whether it be a angel investor or even a family member, work together on it.
Or a joint venture partner.
Work together on it to go and build through there. But somebody has to front the money effectively, even if you're the one who holds the knowledge. That's the way to answer the question. Would you add anything to that?
Correct. And also, I think you need, there's a lot of people who want to just quit their job and become a property developer. Well, a property developer takes years to actually pay back. So how are you going to live in the meantime? Like, you need to still be earning money. And again, this is why you should start with the buy-to-let side of it. So you're building up a portfolio, you're building up property experience, you've got a monthly income. Then move into property development.
Yeah, absolutely. And the reality is that's how I actually started in property. Was I got one buy-to-let where I turned my house into a buy-to-let. I then realised that income was really nice. So I went and got another buy-to-let and then doubled up on my income, and then went and got another buy-to-let, tripled my income, and I went, this is really nice. I quite enjoy this. And then COVID hit. So I was on a really good trajectory, and then I went, oh dear, COVID. So
were they single lets, or did you have those as essays at that point?
They were single lets, just single lets. But
Okay.
You know what? I had problem tenants as well. Like, my very first ever set of tenants that I ever had were the worst tenants I've ever had. But I learnt how to get better tenants going forward. So I was chucked straight in the deep end. Even their first rent, they didn't pay me. Like, as in the first month, they were like, sorry, we can't pay you. I was like, oh my God, what have I done? They then pretended that I obviously said no dogs in my house. They then pretended that they didn't have dogs, but then they ended up having 3 Rottweilers living in the house. And I found out because my neighbour called me to say about the smell coming from my house from 3 Rottweilers. So that was my first ever experience of tenants, but I didn't let it put me off. I said, no, there are good people out there who need good homes, but I had such due diligence on the next set of tenants. Like, the poor people went through the mill with me. I even went and met them. I was like, look, I've had a bad experience before. I need to meet you. And they were lovely. They were just gold, absolute gold. So, yeah.
Yeah, I would say out of how many sets, I've probably had 15 tenancies in the last few years with the houses that I've got. And I'd say like only one of those has been bad and not paid the rent.
That's not bad. So, that's excellent.
Yeah, I'm happy with those odds. And I think in any business, like because a lot of people say to me, oh, I won't buy to let, people won't pay that, people will wreck the house and they won't pay the rent. Well, I used to be a marketing consultant before. I had clients go out of business and not pay me what they owe me. Like, it's the same risk, but actually it's a better risk because you can really do more due diligence on your clients who are your tenants, and credit check them, which you don't do taking on clients in any other kind of business.
Yeah.
So,
and also, people need good homes. There are good people out there who need good homes. So then
Yeah.
don't not.
I get a lot of repeat custom as well. Like my tenants stay with me a long time, and they move into like the next. So like if they have kids or whatever, they want to move into like from a 2-bed to a 3-bed. They'll stay with me, and they'll wait until one of my 3 beds comes available, and then I give them first refusal on it. So I have like
Wow.
a lovely group of tenants who I hope I can keep for a long time.
I love that. I might steal that. I might be like, right, I need to go and get a 3-bed and then a 4-bed and just move them along with their children.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
brilliant.
It's great because you're helping them out. They're helping you. They're proven. It's nice, and people's people's circumstances change. So if you can move them from one of your smaller properties to one of your bigger properties, and they're good tenants, then hey, why not?
Yeah, absolutely. I think for next year, one of my goals actually is to get more back into kind of BRRR and buy to lets, and kind of to build my asset pots. This whole year has been about cash flow for me, because obviously I did leave my full-time job, so I've had to generate quick cash, as you say, to pay bills, to live, and that's what 2023 was mainly focused on. Now that I've kind of got that going and flowing, I think now for 2024 I really want to build on lump sums and kind of cash, like lump sums of cash coming in through buy to lets. So that should be really exciting for that, and a bit of an easier
Yeah,
life.
same. I'm viewing houses this week. I'm really looking to add to my buy to let portfolio. I think now is a good time to buy. I think there's a lot of. I think it's turned from a seller's market to a buyer's market, and I'm excited for that.
Amazing. So 2024, what are your plans? Talk us through it.
Well, for 2023, I had a 12-page spreadsheet with every goal broken down into quarters, done. And for 2024, I actually haven't done that yet. But I do have some stuff in the pipeline that I have to do. I have 54 new build houses. I want to continue to build up my buy-to-let portfolio. I just haven't put any figures to it yet. But I know I want to keep doing more of the same.
I love how you casually say, I've got 54 new builds that I'm building, as if you're just talking about your shopping. That's massive.
If I had 54 renovations to do, I'd be horrified. But it's not. It's new builds. It's like just putting a jigsaw puzzle together. It's fine. It's much easier than doing renovations. I'll maybe like do 2 or 3 renovations a year, but new builds, no problem. I aim for normally about 10 to 12 a year is my minimum that I want to achieve in terms of new build development.
Well, you're going to smash it then. If the minimum's 10 to 12, you're building 54.
I know, but I haven't decided yet. I'm going to wait and see how the market is, because it may be that I spread those over maybe 3 years. Right. So I'm kind of testing the market, and I'm building both in England and Wales. So North Wales is a new market for me to do new build development. So I guess, it'll be a case of building a few, seeing how quickly they sell. If they're selling great. We'll push foot on the accelerator and we'll build them faster. But I think no one really knows what's going to happen with the market this year. So just a case of not overcommitting too much financially and seeing where we are.
Brilliant. I love that. And talk to us more about your course then. So what are your plans for the course?
Yeah, sure. So I've had a course called Freedom Through Property, where I teach women and men, but mostly women, this is my audience, to invest in property. So how to build up their own buy-to-let portfolio to replace their income on BRRR. I even cover a bit of essay in there, although, reluctantly.
No way.
While I don't recommend it, this is how you do it. So that kind of thing. But what I've done is I've never offered coaching and mentoring in development, because up until this point, I didn't feel like I was qualified to do so. But I feel like now I've got 30 new builds under my belt. I've got a pipeline of 54. I know how to do deals. I know how to raise the finance. I know how to, start your own construction company so that you're getting those, you're able to build houses at a really reasonable rate compared to outsourcing the construction. I know the tricks, and I am really keen to share that. So as of this year, I'm going to be teaching. It's called Property Prodigy. And there's several different levels for different kind of price points. yeah, I'm excited to roll that out and get coaching the property development side of things.
Amazing. And do you know when you're going to be rolling that out? Do you know what month?
It's out now.
It's out now.
In January. We launched. Yeah, we launched this week. So yeah,
Fantastic.
Property Prodigy.
Right. Okay. Everyone go and check it out. And what I'll do is I'll also put it in the show notes. So if anybody's interested, they can click on the link and find you as well. Wow. So 2024, it has to be an even better year than 2023. That's the aim. 2024 is just gonna skyrocket, as it were. And do you have any personal goals for 2024 as well? Like just for yourself? Obviously you turn 40, as you said. So you're going to be celebrating, having a party.
Personal goals. Oh, that's a good one.
Let me start. So
know what?
Go on.
I don't actually, but do you know, personal goals, I just want more of the same. Like, I've had such a wonderful 2023. I just want more of the same. Like, surround myself with really positive friends and family, and just, yeah, I don't think I'd want to change anything personally. Like, I have a wonderful life. So it's really hard to set a goal for like something you're already really happy with.
But
more of the same.
What a wonderful thing to say. Like, you're so blessed that you're able to say that. That's incredible. Obviously, you're going to come to the retreat in April as well, so you're going to meet even more amazing people.
It was so good last year. I really enjoyed it. I met incredible people there at all different stages of their property investment journey, so it was so fun.
Oh, thank you. Well, this year is going to be 10 times better, because when you do the first one, you also kind of learn a lot. You're like, okay, I would do this differently next time. I would do this differently next time. So I can't wait for April. I'm so excited. It's going to be like retreat 2.0. I've got even more women coming. I think we were 53 last year. I think there's 70 tickets plus VIPs. So we're going to be about 80 in total over in Penley Manor.
Are you allowed to say, are the main speakers confirmed?
Yes, main speakers are confirmed. Yeah.
Are we allowed to talk about it now?
Yeah, we can talk about it.
Are you waiting to release those?
Yeah,
who have you got speaking?
Oh, so who I've got speaking? So
because I spoke at the last one.
You did.
And Leah, the money coach, and Lexi.
That's right. So we had Leah from Get Comfy Money was last year for business kind of growth and development. Lexi, who's incredible in London and property finder and developer and builder. And then we had your amazingness as well. So this year we have got Rosalia, who is Manuka Media.
Oh, I love her. She's such good energy.
She's incredible energy. Like, she is just fire in a wonderful way. So she's just going to like bring it. Do you know, she messaged me the other day. Rosalia, I'm doing a bit of a shout out to you now. She literally messaged me the other day and she's like, I'm just planning my intro music.
No.
And I was like, yes, girl. Like, and I was like, oh my God, do I need to have intro music? And like, I was thinking to myself, are we doing intro music? And it was just the funniest conversation because she was straight up just like, I'm planning my intro music. And I was like, I'm here for it, girl. This is great.
I'm looking forward to this even more now. Oh, this is going to be brilliant.
I know, brilliant. I obviously need to get a new outfit. So I need to get a new outfit. I'm of course the main host now. Like I'm basically hosting the event on my own, which is really exciting. So a lot of pressure, but at the same time, healthy pressure. Really exciting. So then so sorry, I got distracted. Rosalia. Then you've got Heather Smale, who's Blonde Property. So
I heard her on your podcast. Yeah,
absolutely brilliant. And again, amazing story. Similar to yourself, absolutely incredible. Where she had to go on to therefore get into property through necessity. And she does all about construction and sourcing and BRRR and just so many things. She has about like 40 buy-to-lets in her personal, for her personally.
Oh, wow.
Like she's
just when I think I'm doing well, then you pull Heather out the back and I'm like, I've got so much to achieve.
Funny enough, you and Heather would get on like a house on fire. Like, honestly.
I know. I don't think I've ever met her. Like, obviously you meet a lot of people at these networking events, but I don't think I've met her. I definitely didn't know her story until I heard it on your podcast.
Well, there we go. So you'll be meeting her in April. And then finally we have the Rent to Rent Success Girls, Nikki and Steph. So they're incredible and they're all about rent to rent. Nikki and Steph
Oh,
Taylor.
that's
Yeah.
nice. You've got all bases covered. I love that.
Well,
Like,
that's what I really
there's a lot
hoped.
to learn there.
That's what I really hoped to do. I wanted to create an array for everyone, so that if somebody wanted to do rent to rent, okay, I've got it covered. Somebody wants to do BRRR, okay, I've got it covered. Somebody wants to learn about how can they improve their social media and branding, got it covered. And also, I've got lots of people, coming, as it were. If somebody wants to learn about serviced accommodation, they can come and talk to me. Julia's going to be there. They can talk to Julia. Somebody wants to learn about HMOs. They can talk to me. They can talk to Sophie. Somebody wants to learn about construction. You'll be there. They can talk to you. Literally, there I have every single basis covered at this retreat. So a bit of a shout out. If anybody wants to come and just be in a room with fantastic women, one of the only events in the UK exclusively for women, then go and grab your ticket. As of about 2 weeks ago, there were only 40 tickets left out of 70. I've managed to sell 30 tickets. So I'm really, really proud of that. And I think it's going to be great. So yeah, exciting. But yeah, I think that's something I'm looking forward to in 2024. And from a personal goal, because I asked you your personal goal, I'm hoping to get a dog, which I've been waiting for my literal whole life for a dog.
Oh, really?
So when I was
I'm allergic,
younger,
so I'll pass.
Oh, you're a what? Say that again.
I'm allergic. I'm allergic
You're allergic to dogs? No.
To pet hair.
Oh,
Yeah.
no. Oh, okay. Well, no, I'm obsessed with dogs, like literally obsessed. And when I was about 10 years old, I used to write letters to Santa, always asking for a dog. But because my mum was a single mum, she had to work. We could never have one. And then throughout my whole life, I've never been able to have one because obviously I've always been out working. And now I'm in a time of my life where I'm like, I can actually get a dog. I can do this. The dog can come on viewings. The dog can come networking with me. It's going to be great. So me and Sophie are in a bit of a race together to see who can get the dog first in 2024. So I'll keep.
Do you know what breed you're going to go for? Or
no, everyone keeps asking me this. It has to be small, but not too small. And we definitely want a puppy. We want it to like grow up with us and we want to raise it. I want to take it to puppy school and agility class. And everyone keeps telling me a puppy is so much work and there's so much to it. And I'm like, yeah, but that's life. Like when I started out in property, everyone's like, it's really hard. There's lots to it. You won't make any money. And now I'm sat here. So I think I can handle a puppy. It will be fine.
Famous last words.
I know. Yeah. Everyone has said to me, they're like, you have no idea. So I will. I'll keep you guys posted. But I've loved having you on the pod. It's just fun. I just think it's fun when you come on.
Oh, thank you. I love chatting to you. Like you're one of those women in property. Just got good energy. Like you're a good person to be around, even virtually.
Oh, thank you.
You're just like good. You bring good energy to the space.
Well, you have to, don't you? Like you just have to, and that's what it's all about. It's about bringing not just women and men, but everybody together. Just to have good vibes. I'm all here for the good vibes, always. But yeah, I'm excited.
Definitely, yeah.
So 2024, this is our year. I will obviously see you in April for the retreat. Keep doing absolutely amazing things. Go and check out Charlotte's new course. Absolutely incredible. And any questions, where can people... Oh, actually, before we do a question, that one, remember we always do property disasters. My goodness, I've forgotten how to do this podcast.
I thought I'd got away with
been
that.
Off for Christmas. I've had 2 weeks off. I've forgotten how to do the podcast. So what was your property disaster?
Well, I had I did a renovation from a distance, right? So when I bought my apartment in Spain, it actually didn't need renovating, but me being me, I thought, I'll just tinker with it a little bit and did a light refurb. But basically I'd managed it from a distance. So I was managing like literally on video calls and like I'd never actually met the builders or anything. And I was like getting the property manager to let them in with the key and they stole my Mulberry handbag.
Oh my God. What?
I know.
How? Why?
I've never experienced in the UK a builder stealing anything from my house.
Where did you leave it?
Like it was in the wardrobe. Like it was away. It wasn't like left out, but it wasn't locked away. I didn't think that builders would steal handbags.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, I've never had a builder steal anything that I know of. So yeah, I think I'm too trusting. Like I trust people until they give me a reason not to. But now that really puts me off doing like getting any builders in and managing it remotely.
Oh
for
my
sure.
goodness. Did they take anything else or just the mulberry?
I think they just took the mulberry. To be fair, that was probably the most valuable thing I had.
Yeah. Did they take
They
everything that was
left.
in the mulberry as well?
I don't think there was anything in. I think it was empty. But you
Oh,
know
okay.
what? They left my jewelry, which is such an insult, and took my mulberry handbag.
I love how you're insulted. You're like, you didn't want my jewelry?
I know. I know. They obviously knew it was fake as well.
Oh my
But
God.
my mulberry was real.
You know what? I would be absolutely gutted if that was me, because I don't really have like, I'm not really a girly girl that has loads of shoes and loads of handbags. It's just not really who I am. I'm more about experiences as a girl. So if I was to buy myself a really nice new handbag and someone was to steal it, I would be absolutely livid. Like livid.
I am livid because I always think like that's a month's rent. No, that's 2 months rent and 2 months profit on a house in one of my buy-to-lets. That's how I think of everything, you know?
How dare they? How dare they? Did you
How dare they?
go round and like knock on their door and be like, give me my bag back?
It's difficult because there was so many different trades going in and out. Like there's no way of me proving who it was.
And they knew that. I bet they knew that as well.
And none of them spoke English, so it was very difficult to communicate. And I had to. The worst thing is I had to pay them. Like I had to pay them for the work because I didn't know, was it the plumber, was it the plasterer, was it the painter, was it the cleaner? Like who was it? I don't know. So I have to pay them all, even though one of them stole my flipping mulberry handbag.
So somebody is out there in this world right now enjoying your mulberry handbag.
It was a rose pink mulberry handbag, and some builder is walking around with that, or probably his girlfriend.
Yeah, probably his girlfriend. I have a plan.
They didn't steal any of the cheap handbags. They didn't steal any of the ones from Zara. They stole the mulberry, and that's what I'm most annoyed about.
Of course they didn't. I have a plan now. I have an idea. If I ever get a really nice handbag, like a really nice one, I'm going to engrave it with my initials so that I will know if they steal my handbag. I'll be like, that's my initials. So there you go.
I might sew one of those Apple trackers in it. You know, you can get those trackers now.
Oh, yeah.
Sew one into the lining.
There you go. There you go. Top tip.
That'll teach them.
Top tip. That's your takeaway from this podcast, listeners.
Yeah,
Amazing.
So Apple trackers into your handbags.
Brilliant. And do you know what? Another goal for 2024. I hope one day I actually manage to do this podcast in the correct format. Usually I forget the celebrations or I forget the disasters. I'm like, let's just do one podcast where I try not to forget what I'm supposed to do. That would be really nice.
Oh, but it keeps it interesting though, doesn't it?
Well, it keeps it real. Always. All about keeping it real.
As we know in property, nothing goes to plan.
No, it doesn't. That's so true. And so if people wanted to get in touch with you, Charlotte, and sort of have a chat or to join your program, where can everyone find you?
If you Google me, so Charlotte Edwards and property, on my website will come up. But also I'm on Instagram at accidental female developer.
Amazing, thank you. And if you want to find me, I'm Athena Dobson _official. On Instagram, we are Girls in Property. And if you want to email us, we are girlsinpropertypod@gmail.com. There we go. Woo! Sending off 2024, the first pod. And I will see you in April.
Let's do it.
Lovely. Thanks, Charlotte. Thank you for your time today. I'll speak to you soon.
Brilliant. Thanks, Athena.
Thanks. Bye.